So what's going to come? Everything I talked about were things that are currently happening. But what's going to happen in the future? How are things going to continue to change? And there's a group, the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. This is a group of scientists from nearly every single country, over 2,000 scientists that form this committee, that form this panel to answer that question. What will happen in the future? What they do is that every 6 years, the last one being in 2013, every 6 years they read every single piece of scientific literature, every single thing published in a science magazine, in a science article, in a science journal, everything that's been published, they read every single piece of it. And then they create a review. They look at all of this data across all of these governments, all of these countries, all of these scientists, and they write a review. And they write recommendations based on that, saying, so-and-so saw this, so-and-so saw this, so-and-so saw this. Overall, the general consensus is blah, blah, blah. They make tons of different models in order to project where we may be in the next 100 years. So where will we be in the next 100 years? So this is from 2 IPCCs ago, and this one's looking at temperature. The black line here is what we know. This is the temperature we have measured so far. And these different colored lines are different projections. Here in yellow, this is suggesting whatever we release right now, it's where we stay. And so this is how much warming we should see in our atmosphere. These 3 different colored lines, blue is saying we increase, but not really that much, whereas red says we just keep going. We just keep burning them fossil fuels. We're burning more, better, faster, stronger, etc. So this is a temperature change of about 3.5 degrees, average temperature change of 3.5 degrees. That doesn't sound like a lot, but 3 degrees puts us in an ice age if you're going the other direction. So what will 3.5 degrees going warmer look like? Before you move on, I want to show you kind of a more interactive video. The video that popped up here is a video of a world showing the projected temperatures based on 2 scenarios. The good scenario, where we kind of cap our carbon dioxide emissions, and the bad scenario, where we continue to keep releasing carbon dioxide at a pretty high level. So go ahead and take a look at this video and then come back here and continue on with this lecture. But what good are these models? These are computers. These are people that are just guessing at what is happening. And that's a great question. It's really hard to answer that question because we haven't been modeling it that long. There's a lot going on this graph, but these lines, the green, blue, and tan lines, these are temperatures we have measured. Starting in the 1990s is when we started to make guesses, when we started modeling our temperatures and trying to guess where our temperatures would be going. These bars over here, all these lines and these different colors are representing different models, different hypotheses and guesses we have as to what is happening. So here we've actually been able to measure some data and overlap it with our models. And you can see that the temperature is rising, and it's rising at least within this blue model as well as this green model. So these 2 models here were guessing, and they use data for their guesses to see where that temperature would end up stopping. So it's not bad. And I mean, it covers 2 different models. So don't think of the models as like, oh, well, they're just guessing. They don't know what they're talking about. Yes, they're kind of guessing, but they're using a lot of data. They're using very, very strong statistics and very, very strong computer modeling in order to answer this question. So you do need to take it with a little bit of grain of salt because we're trying to predict weather 100 years from now. Weathermen can't even predict weather within the next hour pretty well. So you got to give them quite a bit of credit for being able to even get this stuff on mark. This graph is looking at sea level rise and again modeling our sea level rise. So by 2100 we have two major projections that sea level rise will be somewhere between 0.6 to about 1 meter. So essentially 2 to 3 feet by the year 2100. Again, that was actually shorter than what I was saying before. We've only increased about 6 inches in the past century. But these models are saying actually it's going to start rising, and it's going to rise fast. It's going to rise nearly exponentially. 3 feet of height, I mean, that's nearly at that 4-foot mark. That's nearly 5 million people displaced. But again, only time will tell. These are just our best guesses so far. So in summary, the increase in these greenhouse gases are already changing our climate. We can see that. We have measured it. Temperatures are increasing every single year. We are getting warmer. That warmth is causing a bunch of different problems. Insects are emerging faster, which is affecting agriculture and affecting other species. We're seeing an increase in our sea levels. We're seeing melting of our sea ice. We're seeing stronger storms. We're already seeing this. And our carbon dioxide levels aren't lowering. They're not getting better, at least globally. So the question is what will happen in 100 years? And we don't know. The big thing we need to do is start addressing it now.